Welcome to Bratislava.
Slovakia. Been here almost 3 days now. We've just been indoors resting, catching up on a few videos, just having some downtime. And today we are out to explore Bratislava. The weather is cloudy and gloomy, which we like, and the temperature is 1 degree, which is really warm here compared to all the other days.
And today also happens to be not so rainy. So we decided we'd go explore the city a little bit and experience a bit of Slovakia.
This person is looking for his ear, but it's gone all the way up there. Amit is looking at the map and taking me through all these side roads. And then after 5 minutes, he says it's the wrong way.
Anyway, while the map is figuring itself out, I figured I'd tell you a little bit about Slovakia. We learned that Czechoslovakia was actually, it was not a part of USSR, but it was a very communist state. It was under the influence of the Soviet Union at that time. And until 1989 or so, it was part of the Eastern Bloc of the world. And then eventually, at the end of 1989 and 1990s, they managed to become independent. And at the same time, they also split from being Czechoslovakia, a country that was together, a federation, into two states, which is Czechia and Slovakia. So I've already been to Czechia. It was super beautiful. Prague was so nice. Slovakia, on the other hand, is quite different. Everything here feels very much more communist than it did in Prague. Like the buildings are more functional, very flat, very Soviet-style architecture. It's very beautiful, but also because of the kind of influence there was here. Slovakia had very different priorities in economic development than Czechia. That's why they chose to be two independent countries. And at this point, there's only about 5.5 million people that make up the population of this country. So it's really, really small, smaller than the population of Bangalore, our hometown. So our first stop was this blue church here. It's supposed to be one of the most photographed landmarks in all of Bratislava. Bratislava isn't very popular with tourists, but the few that do pass by here obviously come here. It's super beautiful. It kind of feels a lot like what you've seen in the other states further east from here, like the Stans. But it's a church, and it has some tiles and some very interesting architecture.
It's very unique. I've never seen a blue church.
Yeah, it's baby blue, sky blue. So this behind us is called the Freedom Square, or as they say in Slovak, Námestí Slobody. Is a large square in Bratislava that's best known for the Fountain of Union. This one. I guess they've turned off the taps because it's going to be freezing. And it's Slovakia's largest fountain. Built during the socialist era, the square is surrounded by government and university buildings and has a very stark monumental feel. Today it's pretty revitalized and popular for walks, photos, and summer hangouts. I guess in summer it would be super nice.
The square is quite big, and I can imagine how many people can be here in the summer months.
You know what's funny though? On Google Maps, when you look at this place, you know how they usually tell you how busy it is on a little graph?
Yeah.
It says right now that it's busier than usual. And we see probably like 15 other people. It's crazy. And this building behind us is the... That was not rehearsed. And this building behind us is the presidential palace. I think we're walking on the back side while in that park. And on this side, we see the usual two soldiers standing in front, the two guards, in the biting cold.
I feel so sad that in every country we see people, two people at least standing in front like that in the cold.
It's been the case across Europe, starting with the UK until here.
Yeah.
Everywhere there's the same kind of setup. The trams are made by Skoda.
Oh, I didn't see that. Got brinzob haluski, which is the national dish of Slovakia. This is basically potato dumplings with sheep cheese with some crispy fried onion on top and tofu. I really like how creamy and milky the texture is. Unlike the other potato dumplings like the momos we've had before, this is so different. I can sense the potatoes very mildly. I think they've chopped it up really small and boiled it, and they've added smoked tofu inside. The combination is working really well, and the crispy onion rings in between has this crunchy effect as we eat. It's amazing.
It's definitely very unique. I like the fresh herbs on top.
That was a nice warm meal. We saw so many restaurants online which were selling these items, but most of them seem to be closed today. Today's a Saturday and most of them are shut on the weekend.
It's so surprising because we figured that's when they'd have most business. But anyway, we got to try it. We are always so curious about trying the national dish of every country. But when it's often, it's not vegetarian. And when there are a few vegetarian versions of it, we immediately try and find the best place we can try it on a budget. So this was one of those moments and it was pretty good.
Yep.
Very cheesy. And now inside the old town, Bratislava.
Kind of feels like Edinburgh. We love cobblestone roads. Now we will stop at the entrance of every such road and film us walking, just like this. Can you guess where we are? It's fully fogged up, but you are in front of the castle.
This is called the Bratislava Hrad. They use the same kind of words that they used in Czechia. So this is also a castle, but this one, it looks quite modernish. However, we just learned that this castle's mean inhabitants since 970 AD.
Ooh.
I would have obviously liked to see it in more clarity, but right now the fog has descended entirely on this city.
This castle is actually on top of a small hill, and we were supposed to get a nice view from here, but it's foggy, so we have a clear white view. But the interesting thing is, I like the gates of the castle. They have 4 different kind of statues or knights sitting on them.
It looks pretty unique, but there's also something crazy. We're supposed to be looking at the Danube River right here, but it's clearly invisible. We just came out of St. Martin's Cathedral, and this building behind us, this is the church, but you see that tower there? At the very tippy top of the tower, there's actually a replica of the crown that the Hungarian queens and kings wear. So this church is the site of coronation of all these rulers over like 300 years of the dynasty from the 1500s. So the church tower actually still has a crown on top.
Hello, how are
We
you?
were just walking around in Old Town and we found Kumel, or I think that's how you pronounce it. Kumel, the street worker. So he's actually a funny little statue. This man coming out of a sewer drain, like a manhole cover. And people say that in this very serious looking Old Town area, he's a really funny guy. Yeah, this guy. Although the
This way
looks
is
shiny.
frozen.
There are two theories. One is that he's a spy who's coming out of the sewer, and the other is that he's just a funny man who's just sticking out his head from the street.
We were just standing and looking at him, the statue, and then suddenly somebody clicked a picture of us and gave us this. Inside the palace in Bratislava. It's night time and we're walking around in the old town of Bratislava. Namit always likes to see the old town during the day and also see the same place during the night so that he gets to see two versions of the same place. He always makes us stay after sunset for a little while at least till all the lights come on.
Anyways, we are now walking towards the UFO bridge, a place that we had long been hearing about. That it's a very unique bridge that happens to light up like a unidentified flying object. So, we finally finished the day in Bratislava at this most means bridge, and now we're gonna head back to our friend's home. We just wanted to say, I know the vlog was short. Tomorrow we have to make our journey into Austria, and that country will finally square things up between Shish and me. It's the only country that I have been to before that Shish hasn't been to. This happened before we got married.
Every time I would count our country count, he'll be like, yeah, whatever you have seen, plus these many countries for me. It was 3 till now, but after finishing France and Germany, it's come down to the last one, Austria.
So tomorrow morning we plan to head there. We're still planning the logistics, but hopefully we should get there by noontime. We don't have any plan yet because we're meeting another friend who we met while traveling in Iran. So
Yeah.
we're curious to see what he's been up to.
And also, I'm very curious to see Austria because as a child, I had watched the movie Sound of Music so many times, and that movie was actually shot in Austria.
Hopefully we get to see at least a bit of the mountains. I know it's a bit far-fetched in this weather, but we'll still try.
The hills are alive with the sound of music. Alright, see you in the next one. Bye bye.
How is this not criminalized? Look at that. All of them sitting and pooping right here, and we just sidestepped it.
Just missed it.
You can take it for people.
Subscribe.